Yeah. See, I shut it off and it clicked off. I don't know. Maybe I tapped the phone. Start over again. Okay. It's going through this YouTube here. Started watching this last night. Okay. Give the time and everything here. There, it's 7 a.m. here in Calgary, Alberta yet. 2025. 05, yeah. May the 28th. That might be marked in this morning. Mark Carney used to make the joke of just in time for trouble, Justin Trudeau. Yeah, I'm a senior. They're so generous to us seniors. Anyway, first verse was
Number 4, Pentecost is when every man...
Pentecost. Pentecost and the Rapture. See, here he goes. I'm going to backtrack here a little bit.
A picture of believers raised up at the rapture. Leviticus 23:17 and 1 Corinthians 15:52.
Guy sounds a little Brit, so he kind of rattles off those verses. There's my phone number. Okay. Don't agree with me, call me. I thought it would be swamped by calls about stuff. Nah, people just rattle off what they want. Okay. 1 Corinthians 15:53. For the corruptible must put on incorruption. Okay, we're mere mortals yet. We're not immortal yet. Adam lost it. He's the second Adam. The calendar should start at his death and resurrection. Not from his Greek birthday. That's a whole issue too. Mary met Elizabeth. That's the Hanukkah. Okay? Hanukkah. Yeah. There's menorah, not the Hanukkah. Just add a couple more candles. Nah. We'll just change the time. We'll just change a few things. Okay? And the mortal shall put on immortality. So when the corruptible I put on incorruption. Yeah. Sure. It talks about the changing, the awakening. The rapture is Latin. It's in the Latin Vulgate. Does it say anything about being on Pentecost? No. So why would he just rattle this off?
Number 3, Pentecost is when all Israelite males must gather before the Lord, a picture of the rapture gathering.
He mentions the wheat harvest. The wheat harvest, barley harvest comes first, not the wheat harvest. The fig tree has 3 harvests. I just learned that lately. Guy from, I think from Hamilton, Ontario. He's promoting Count the Omar. Yeah, okay. 7 weeks. I believe it's from the first Sabbath of the Passover. Yeah, the Passover is a high annual Sabbath. How many keep Easter bunnies and they think it's the same thing? No, it's not. It's not Good Friday with Sun Resurrection Day. He resurrected on first fruits. It's Revelation 14 verse 4. Do you want me to go to it? I go there time and time again. Why? People don't get it. Because they just pluck things out of context. First fruits, Mr. Seventh-day Adventist, is part of your 3 angels' message. The 144,000. Okay? You can flip the numbers around. 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 14. But most people read what? 16 to 17. They just kind of just pluck it out. Yeah. Then build their pre-trib doctrine. That's such a nice thought. We're going to be caught up. People that don't believe that say, call it escapism. Yeah, well, tell that to people in Congo or in northern Nigeria, the border disputes. What's it about? They're being slaughtered. Oh. Peace, as long as you say what? As long as they do it their way. Peace. What? Conflicting information out of Israel. Watchman guy, he's always talking about Rapture, and lately he hasn't been talking. He was having troubles, some court case. Finally found a lawyer in the same little town. Isn't God great? And he's got a...
Deuteronomy 16:16 and 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 1.
Okay. I can hear his British accent, I think, coming all over. He just rattles off these verses. I was watching this last night and I was like, what? 1 Thessalonians 4:14 or whatever he says. Okay. Okay, we'll go to that one. We'll maybe go to some of the Old Testament ones too. 4:14, did he say? There's chapter 4. Put my camera down here on the page we're going. And 14. This is what I referred to. Which sleep in Jesus will bring him with him. See, most people don't want to deal with this, or they just start down here at 15, usually 16. For himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, the voice. Okay, by himself? Doesn't say that in 14, does it? Oh, where's these people coming from? Maybe the cave where Enoch went to? Really? See, they just kind of ignore that, don't they? It doesn't fit into their theology, so we'll just ignore that. They used to actually do this, take a pen knife and cut the verse out you don't like. Because what? It doesn't fit. You're got 2 feet? Most people do. Okay. Try to fit both feet into one shoe. My wife wants to be on camera, maybe? No. I asked her to play some music. Up from the grave he rose, with a mighty triumph for his foes. He rose a victor from the dark domain, and he lives forever with his saints to reign. Yeah. In my retirement years, I helped a guy yesterday move appliances and stuff. I should start to... I had a good massage over at Toyota here. Talked to the one guy a little bit. He talks a little bit. Most of them don't want to talk to you unless your wife is there. Then they know that you're more serious about looking at the vehicles. Guys go there, get their vehicle serviced. Yeah. How many of them just traded off a continual problem with a vehicle? So they trade it off. Then the person thinks they're getting a good used vehicle. Yeah, getting somebody else's headache. Our vehicles are limping around, something like we are. Maybe a friend of mine, he got hooked on gambling, lost his airplane and everything, died in his car. They hook people. They find out you've got a line of credit or something, got some money, and they'll get you hooked. This is what they do at these places. How come Martha Stewart and Conrad Black did jail time for inside trading. Where's the rest of them? Now they make an example out of a few that it's so honest and forward. Really? One lady in Calgary, Alberta, she maybe kept her mouth shut. She was working for the oil company. She made $150,000. Then they charged her in court $400,000, so it cost her big time. Okay, so honest and forward. The preachers are doing this much the same way, traveling around the world, saying what.
Well, Pentecost is when every man must bring an offering proportionate to how God has blessed him.
See, the big issue is they're trying to say these events are tied in with Pentecost. Well, let's go to a verse in here. By the way, the love of many waxed cold. What's that got to do with a repeat of the Second Temple dietary thing? Okay, so they teach a whole doctrine around this. Oh, this is a repeat of the Second Temple. Really? No, it's not. Okay. Son of Man coming in the clouds. Da 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 da. Okay, let's keep reading here. After 2 days, maybe he's trying to tell us something. Okay, how come he resurrected Lazarus on the 4th day? Mr. Orthodox Jew that believes the spirit hovers around for 3 days. Where do we get some of these Canaanite views? Last verse of Zechariah 14:21. Canaanite. It's Canaanite in Hebrew. Go my wife's great big book with Hebrew on one side, and they translate it in what? Trader, merchant. Okay, here's the one I wanted. Often go to this one. Why? Because people don't teach it. One guy was asked a question, and he danced all around it. The graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. Yeah, 1 Thessalonians 4:14 confirms this. But no, we don't like that verse and the other Gospels. Well, if we only had the book of Matthew, what would we believe? No, they want to pick and choose. Come out of the graves after his resurrection. Oh, the tombs that were above the grounds of the earthquake, and they rolled out. Yeah, and we're into the holy city. The city's up the hill, excuse me, came out of the graves after his resurrection. Okay? Most of us on here probably believe he resurrected. So how many resurrected with him? That's what it says. Now what do you want to believe? This is why the centurion was so alarmed. He'd seen earthquakes before. But how come they couldn't find Lazarus at the dinner party? Well, we just read it. The corruptible takes on incorruption. You want to see my mugshot? Here. Here's my mugshot, okay? I won't have gray hair anymore. Okay? And those that are in the grave are more apt to be resurrected than us. Lukewarm. Enoch had to be counted worthy. What are we taught? Everybody sitting in the whole pew. Well, the word pew is, God says something about iniquity of his people is a stench in his nostrils. Why? What are we doing? We think we say a few nice words and sit there and give a donation. We want the tax deduction after forcing people taken by force or deception to his house. He should bless this. He will not bless this. If my people are called by my name, humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways. Never mind what everybody else is doing. Well, what do we teach? What do we believe? Just goes on and on and on.
A picture of the Bema judgment after the rapture. Deuteronomy 16:16, Matthew 25:14 to 13.
Matthew 25:14. Okay, what's he saying here? See, I kind of knew last night. I was just kind of watching this. And I was like, oh yeah, 25:14. So what does it act? He just rattles them off. He doesn't go to the verse. Doesn't read it in context. There. For a kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. Okay. Okay, the 5 talents. Oh yeah. The abilities. When was the last time we put our abilities in a bank and earn interest? I think he's talking about something else here, if you read the whole thing. But see, most teachers don't want to do this because what? Well, Ezekiel 34, seldom mentioned, it says, feed his sheep. Well, remember the story? Peter was told, asked 3 times to feed his sheep. His sheep, did you get it? It's not our sheep. These people think it's their sheep, and they're feeding upon the sheep. Oh, they maybe give them a little bit of milk. Enough to understand, enough for maturity. No. They want them following them. And my wife is going. Say hi. She's leaving. Okay, I wanted to ask to play some music this morning. Up from the grave he rose. Okay. She practices it more on Fridays when she lights her candles for the beginning of the Sabbath. So she went from the one boat right into the other boat. Went from her Sunday keepers, hardly even, almost shuns them. Go right to the other extreme. Do what? Yet the Filipino guy put me out the door. Wouldn't talk to me for 2 weeks, even on the tour. On and on. But they're the great guru. Yeah, okay. I was talking to the teenagers about the volcanoes going off, and I got static for not having them. No. It's like his wife could tell him I was sitting downstairs watching him.
You don't go anywhere. Do you need money? You're okay, right?
Leonard paid me a little bit yesterday for helping him.
All right.
Okay. And I hope I got my mark. We're not supposed to take the mark of the beast. Well, I make jokes about we're marked in Canada now. Mark Carney. Okay. Mr. Carney. There's the 2 of them there. Okay.
Before you go, you need to turn that off.
Yes. Okay. I will turn the heaters off now, so I don't forget. Okay. Yeah, we live downstairs. Well, the ground and everything's frozen, so it's warm outside. The furnace doesn't run. We freeze downstairs. This is an issue with the landlord. Okay, figures we should freeze or what? The plumbing's plugged up, and my wife has to come home and find the plunger. They can't do anything. Yeah, but stand fast. Hold fast our faith. That's what he's saying to me this morning too, about us moving. My wife is, be eager, you believe something will happen. Anxious or afraid it won't. She does her religious functions, but how much faith? Okay. The aunt prepares her food for the winter. Excuse me, the ants are just coming out of hibernation in Canada here yet. Okay, come on.
Number 5. Pentecost is a wedding or betrothal day for Israel and the church, pointing to the rapture wedding.
Okay. The big problem is we have got the idea that there's only a second coming. Really? How many times did he come before? Who walked with Adam and Eve in the garden? Enoch was in the first. Elijah. Okay, the center candle is referred to as Jesus Yeshua. Then there's the catching up on Pentecost. That already happened. We're the next event. See, we got this idea he only came once as a little babe in the manger. Really, and there's no sheep in the high country of Israel in December, by the way. But they try to justify Christmas. Perry Stone, he was getting into some of the Hebrew stuff. Now every thought that comes off the top of his head is a divine, from his Pentecostal background. What? It says go forward, Acts 16:11. The one YouTube, very good teaching. But they're pre-trib. Okay? Acts 16:11, go forward. The mountain happens to be 1,611 meters high. They didn't even use meters then. Okay? We're taught what? The numbers are just put in random. Doesn't mean nothing. Well, 1 Thessalonians 4:14. Flip the numbers the other way. You got 14 verse 4 of Revelation. First fruits. That's the day he resurrected on. This already happened. They don't want to acknowledge that happened? What? So then now it's all in the future yet? This is what they're doing. The third temple? He built his temple. His temple. He will build. Let's read it. Well, Zechariah 14. Feast of Tabernacles. The saints come with him. I wrote down White Horse. I think that was from Herbert W. Armstrong. All in the future yet. Okay? Really? The White Horse is the Antichrist coming. Really? Well, who was Simeon the sorcerer? And when Peter confronted him, later on, Peter was killed in Rome. The branch. This is Zechariah chapter 7, says there. Zechariah 6, verse 12. The branch. Like, who's the branch? Oh, but we read these so-called more accurate, more modern versions, perversions. And you read, well, yeah, I guess that's what it kind of means. He builds his temple. I kind of think that he should be capitalized. Okay, so, temple of the Lord. He shall bear the glory. Sorry, Mr. Orthodox Jew. It doesn't want to acknowledge Yeshua. I think you got to have the red heifers in the third temple. Okay? Red storm rising, all this stuff. We got so much information coming out of our ears, but we're not told about volcanoes going off, flooding in Cuba and Caribbean even before the hurricane happened, and wonder why it's so dry up in northern Canada. And yeah, I believe they found magnifying glasses. Follow the money trail. The wild mushrooms grow a year or two after the fires. Okay?
Exodus 19 and Acts 2. Number 6, Pentecost is when a Gentile woman marries a Jewish redeemer. A picture of the church's wedding to Jesus.
Okay, Ruth.
Ruth 3 and 4.
We can go to that. But I hear him saying these verses, but you read them, and he's trying to justify that it's all in the future yet. These are shadows of things, some of them which already happened. Pentecost, 7 weeks. Yeah, I just read it somewhere else. They figure took Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That's their Babylonian renamed. Forced the simulations. I believe that's what happened in Canadian residential schools with indigenous people. They were never one tribe. Come on. Okay? They know that. Okay? What?
Number 7. Pentecost occurs in late spring, the season of the Rapture wedding in Song of Songs, chapter 2.
The barley harvest is first. The fig tree, I just found out, has 3 harvests. I was in Israel only once. Some of these fellows are going twice in a year. Like what? I don't know. And then they asked for more donations. A guy gets back from Ottawa. It's an ecumenical function. Okay? Now he's talking about how many people in the world have an out-of-body experience. Yeah, some say they see Santa Claus too. Blow it out your ear. That's Canaanite teaching. Visions of our own imagination. Yeah. Here's Daniel, chapter 12. And many of them that sleep. I just read this, and then some people asked. One guy happens to be a pastor. 3 of them discussing and get into discussion at our famous little Tim Hortons, which is a hockey player in Canada. So it went over a little bit in Buffalo, New York. Most franchises start in the U.S. Why? Well, 10 times the population. The legal costs, I think, are about the same. I told the guy here, don't even waste your time. Now he's not even in business. He got behind in his expensive lease payments. Other restaurant, hardly ever open. I wonder what's going on. Would you pay expensive leases when you're hardly ever open? Like, what's going on there? I think there's illegal. It's just a front for illegal activity. Here, I did some math here. Okay, it says 1,290. Okay, 1,290. It mentions the time that this daily sacrifice should be taken away. Okay, what is that? We know that temple was destroyed in 70 AD. The abomination that make it desolate set up. Okay, I believe that's covetousness. It causes true love to wax cold, by the way, too. But do some time. Do some math. 1220. So I just looked it up on Google. We got information in our finger. All kinds of things happened in 1220 AD. But one of the things was Julian calendar. Mr. Adventist, trying to fit this into your 1844. Trying to justify your human mistake. We're like kids on a dock. Oh, I see the ship coming. The ship is coming. The ship is coming. Sometimes it's already come and it's already left. We're waiting for the next event. We got this idea he only came once as a little babe in the manger. No. Who was the rock that came forth with living water? It says it followed after. Oh, well, that really stretches our human reasoning. Psychology is human reasoning denying the power. Yeah. How could a rock follow after? Well, apparently rocks do move in the desert. Yeah, I guess they get a little frost underneath and the wind blowing, and as it melts, it actually pushes itself across. Isn't that amazing? He's putting stuff right in front of our eyes. Don't say a rock can't move in the wilderness. He is the Lord thy God. Okay? See, but human reasoning says, oh, no, nobody except Jesus that came from heaven went to heaven. Really? I couldn't believe it. He takes the whole thing totally out of context. John 3, a lot of us know John 3:16. For God so loved the world. Right? Okay, that's good teaching for kids. Yeah, but then it talks about abiding, so you just don't believe. John 3, there it goes. Here's, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And the preacher says, just believe, and you'll never die. Well, Lazarus walked with Jesus, and he died. I think, take it in context. You're talking about being resurrected. Then you become immortal. We're not immortal now. But the guy likes to read this one here. And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven. What? So I said to him, well, Elijah didn't come from heaven. But see, in their mind, that's even more reason why Elijah didn't go to heaven. Like, where did he go? I guess he's still floating around in the clouds. Right? So I do some more digging. Go down some of these rabbit holes. Dig. The pearls aren't on top. They're in the bottom of the ocean. Okay? Dig. Guy won't lend me his gold detection equipment. Talking about it, but he won't even rent it to me. Okay? The chariots of God. How many chariots? Oh, remember the one story? The chariots all around after the guy was prayed to open the guy's eyes so he'd see. 20,000. Even thousands of angels with him. What? And what does it say? The Lord is among them. But he only came once as a little babe. And he's only coming a second time. Really? What are you teaching?
2. Number 8, Pentecost is when Enoch who walked with God, a type of the church, was raptured. Genesis 5 verse 24, Hebrews 11:5. Enoch walked with God and he was not, for God took him. Number 9.
Well, at least he's teaching that. God took him. Took him where? These people want to teach that just God took him to a cave to die by himself somewhere. Really? No. So this guy is believing in the catching up, the rapture, which is Latin. It's in the Latin Vulgate. Don't get, he sounds British. They call a truck a lorry. It's terminology, okay? Get over it. Such childish things.
Pentecost, the day after a Sabbath, is the first day of the week, a day of resurrection and new beginnings. John.
See, the guy here that believes the Pentecost is 7 weeks, 7 times 7, 49 days. I believe it. Yeah. And then I read, they figure about 2 months for the walk the boys and Daniel to Babylon. Oh, gee. 7 times 7. He could walk all the way from, they figure he buried around Shinar, Babylon, or someplace there. Walked all the way back to Jerusalem. Yeah. And where did Lazarus go? How come he left from Bethany? Whose house is in Bethany? Okay. But then the preacher says, just off the top of the head, doesn't back it up with, of course, Lazarus died. Really? Well, human reasoning says, well, we don't see him walking around. Of course he died again. Really? Childish foolishness. Blessed are those that believe and have not even seen. I saw a hologram of the temple, and we have movies. My wife shouldn't watch a horror movie because she can't relate it to that not being real. Okay? But she runs around with her Hebrew friends. Likes to talk to her grandson in San Diego. That's where the plane crash happened. I happened to find out some things. The plane crashed down there. Yeah, it hit the power line. That's what the stepson does down there. So He's the engineer. He designs upgrading electrical. They're now having to fix the power lines in that where the plane crashed. And no, the little beacon that sends out the weather also sends out the altimeter reading. So that wasn't working. So, and the fog. And the guy is tired. They left East Coast in the morning. Had got fuel at Wichita, Kansas. So how many hours were these guys awake? And they hit the power line. Wow. Combination factor. But they'll blame it on the pilot. Well, who's in charge of having that weather beacon for the altimeter setting? Who's in charge of that?
20.
Is that the pilot's fault that it's not working?
Number 10, Pentecost, the festival preceded by a countdown, is the most anticipated of God's appointed times.
It's called the Feast of Weeks. The guy in Hamilton, Ontario. I should try to call him again. But he doesn't maybe want to talk to me. Okay. There it is. There's my phone number. Mr. Ravi Singer too. Yeah, Isaiah 29. Ariel. Verse 10. Sleeps as deep sleep. Are you going to deny the state of Israel, Mr. Orthodox Jew, to try to discredit the New Testament? What? Yeah. I'll preach a gospel from the Old Testament then. Fly away. What does he think he's talking about? An airplane? People say it's not in the Old Testament. Oh, really? Okay. Fly away. I was talking about the airplanes. You think it was really talking about airplanes here? Oh, maybe we should look it up in these modern versions and see what it says. Here. Where's that book? Great big, massive book. My wife hardly buys these things. Can hardly pay her bills, and then she's buying stuff and hardly ever read it. Daniel's not even in the same section. She debated that. I heard that. Well, there. Here, it's right here. It's right in front of her eyes. How come Daniel, get the light out of your eyes here. Daniel. Boy, focus in. Daniel. In with Esther. How come it's not up with Isaiah? Oh. Yeah, see, they put it in a different section of their Torah. How come? Oh, it's too precise. I mean, they don't like it. Okay, what else I gonna look up now? See, I can look these things up. Yeah, Psalms. Where's Psalms here? Psalms. She's not even in the same order. And when you get into studying this, then it kind of messes your brain up. You know, my sometimers can't even find Psalms in this thing. Proverbs, Malachi. See, you got Malachi before Zechariah in this one. Okay. I don't even know where Psalms is on this one. Okay, Ruth, Psalm, Ecclesiastics, Proverbs. Is it down in here? Psalms, there it is, right before Malachi. Okay. And everything is backwards, you know. Hey, Middle East. Chinese are up and down, of course. Got to be a little bit different here. Something like California with the interstate system. Everything else is nicely numbered off except California. Got to be different. Psalms 90. Okay. 1859. Doing a study here this morning for you. Okay. Just bear with me a bit. Psalms 92. See, we got to go this way to go smaller. Book 4. 90. Oh, I had looked it up one time before. Hallelujah. I actually underlined it here. We fly away. This is the Hebrew on this side. my wife was studying some of this Hebrew stuff, and they like to do it at the Hebrew group. Oh yeah, hey, we can maybe get into that because it's probably posted now. Okay, they read this off. Maybe the one guy knows he's pretty good at it. He does a cantering. He mocked me for giving $10 outside the door when they put him out. I didn't even know they put him out. And the guy needed some gas. Well, that's what he told me. He's responsible for God. You know, sometimes give them a gift certificate so they don't waste it at something. But sometimes, and one time I gave a guy, you could say I'm wasting money. A block later, guy gave me the money. I'm the one that had the money for the lunch and the train ticket and everything that day. I didn't have enough for the train ticket. I could have got a fine truck. Yeah, they're checking sometimes. At what? Gonna catch Grandpa coming back from a church service? Where were they when they needed security on the train? Oh no, nowhere to be found.
Leviticus 23:15.
Leviticus 20:15. See, he just rattles them off like everything he's reading has got to back up this statement, Pentecost and the Rapture. Well, that happened. Rapture is word for catching up. That already happened. Doesn't mean it's going to be the exact same time again. Fig tree has 3 harvests. The next harvest is in the early fall, Feast of Trumpets. Hello! Do you hear what he's saying? Or we're just going to listen to everybody else? People are going to be shocked. Count to Omar. Okay, they counted to Omar, the Pentecost. It happened. When's the next fig tree harvest? It's in the fall. Feast of Trumpets. And the last one is in the later fall. Yom Kippur. What's it called? Day of Atonement. And then the last one is Feast of Tabernacles. I wasn't taught it as a kid either. You know? Both my grandfathers were killed. Well, it's an unfortunate thing. Nobody takes me hunting and fishing. So I've only done a little bit of that. Cattle, hunting, yeah. Animals standing in the corral. You drop them and you butcher them. Hey. They went out to the sheep farm, so maybe took the kids out there, so maybe some of them will realize now where their lamb chops come from. Okay? No, not pork chops. Okay? They're scavengers of the air, land, and sea. You want to get so technical about it. Did he really sanctify everything we do? Not every word comes out of our mouth is sanctified. He knows when I'm around truck driving the association, the language goes into the toilet. And you scratch your nose. Here, put this on. Here's a little Canadian thing. If your nose is itchy, it's hand-picked, so, you know, scratch your nose from here, okay? The next time when you scratch it with this. As you're walking out the door, and the office people don't really know, you're scratching your nose, or you telling them to F-bomb. That's a big no-no in Canada, okay? You can say G-O-D-O you want, and J-I-C, and everything else. That's okay. The UK? KFC chicken. Guess what they named it? FCK. Yeah, I should get some more dentures, okay? Well, these screw-in things, I don't know. They got some other things now. Last set I had was molded here. A guy probably got static where I had it made in the Philippines. Okay, no, I'm not paying $1,000 for a piece of plastic. throws money around. Exodus. What was I gonna? We can count to Omar. You want to go to that one? Count to Omar. How about we go to something else here? Here. Beth. There we go. My wife was doing that, and she got teed off for some reason. So somebody else does the live streaming now. She's playing the music sometimes with them. Where are we here? Okay, computer's thinking. A weekly update, May 24th, weekly update. Okay, live stream. Okay. So it'll come up here. The live stream is off. We got to turn the volume on here too. Come on. Okay, see, it doesn't want to go there. Because the live stream. Okay, we got to go with the previous ones. I don't know. Weekly update. Resources. Weekly. I don't know. Sermons. Common questions. They're teaching post-trib now. This is Orthodox Jews. Joel Richardson? Yeah. Oh, the book of Enoch is very deceptive, but then he uses it to justify his post-trib view. Oh, yeah. It's very deceptive for others, but I can discern what's right and wrong. Really? The heart is deceitful above all else. I'm trying to find, maybe they only, yeah, I see it's Wednesday. Maybe they didn't get it posted yet. Weekly update. Here, we got this. Come on. Where's the little mousy thing? Come on. Can't even see it now. I'm struggling with this high-tech stuff. Weekly update. Okay. I don't know. Giving. Oh, they got that boxed in, see. You want to be blessed, so you got to give more so you can go on another tour or conference on a Caribbean cruise boat or come back from Ottawa now with what? Ecumenical function, talking to people that believe they had out-of-body experiences. This is Canaanite stuff, you know? Why do you think he resurrected Lazarus on the fourth day? Because they still have the idea that the Spirit hovers around for 3 days. Here's a little announcement. June 1st, 2024, Shavuot Pentecost. They're out at the lake, just east of Calgary. Gonna have a baptism. I hope some of the Americans and some people from Oklahoma, they had 1,400 adults rebaptized. Some of the other places people are talking about this. The pastors, they haven't got time to look into that. I'm busy. Where? On the golf course? Yeah. Maybe that's what the guy in Watchman River, he goes down to the golf course or something. Maybe he's waiting to see his friends. Go golfing. So busy. Here's the big singer is coming here into a bigger platform in Calgary, Alberta, July 19th. I told my wife I can listen to him online. I don't need to go there. Okay? I can't. We can't go everywhere. Okay? Doors open 6:15 p.m. Okay. Yeah, it'd be a nice. Went to Don Moen one time. Yeah. It was nice. But he also says should be known in the city gates. I don't see him down at the city council. Met the guy from Banff, Alberta, famous tourist place. He's a counselor on the local town there. Hey, interesting guy. Comes over and sits with, I was helping the guy move appliances. We had something to eat at this one big store. Had what was it they call it? I was going to say New York. No, it was beef on a bun, but it's pickled beef. What do they call it? Yeah, sometimes my sometimers doesn't work. Anyway, it was good. The guy was sat down with us. Not very many seats there, so just the two of us. And he said, "Get into politics and everything." He's a counselor from the town there. He's quite interested in the big drones. He knew quite a bit about how they can do surveying and everything real accurately with this stuff real quick. Well, the town's into that, I guess. Well, I'm glad he knows. Maybe the Calgary Fire Department should learn. He said he looked at it. It's going to take 40 or 50 minutes to rescue a kid off the reservoir. The county wasn't even called into the city council meeting. Like, what are they doing? Okay, my uncle was the mayor of a town. He said, well, we'll have to discuss that some other time because the people aren't here that need to be here to properly discuss this. Like, you're wasting everybody's time here. No, they go on and on and on, and the people weren't even at the meeting. The county's not happy with that. I told the guy about photoelectric smoke detectors. Yes, Mr. American. Yakima, Washington made it mandatory. Norway made it mandatory 3 years ago already. Photoelectric will go off 30 minutes sooner from your smoldering fire. There is some personal information. Yeah, tell your neighbors, help them. You don't have to talk theology already. The guy gets gas and ready. Oh, Jesus, did you know Jesus loves you? Okay, that's a lot of people have heard that, you know. Well, did he know anything about volcanoes or anything? Or I told him about photoelectric. The guy, after a while, he went on his phone. Basically, he's saying, I'm not interested in listening to you anymore. That's what they're doing on the transit and stuff. They kind of just tune out as if everything on this YouTube stuff, mainstream media, right as city council, we nickname it Silly Hall. It's all edited out. The one guy's picture in the paper is 20 or 30-year-old picture. I didn't even recognize him. Says he never has anything edited. No, because he just writes what they want. Okay. Like, you say something too much. My wife was blocked off her Facebook right now. Oversized homemade firecrackers exploding their faces in Gaza. Yeah, that's an issue and a half. But the people are living like kings in another country. These leaders of Hamas, well, people don't even have food on the table. And then they turn around and have a party right outside the fence. Hey, the Israeli IDF. It's IDF, not JDF, by the way. And I saw a lady wearing her burqa. My mother from the Ukraine used to wear something. But, you know, the one guy wants his daughters, even though they're not married, to have this. Like I said, well, maybe you should have the face covering too. Okay? So she has this garment on and she's in their emergency services. Can't even say it. Just call it EMS, okay? Emergency services. Yeah, there was some big donations for it. There's a big function. Okay. Chestermere Lake. Yeah. That's a good one. Get out there. Okay, let's get dunked again. Peter had to get out of the boat and got dunked again. It wasn't a bird that came down on Jesus. He is our salvation. It's not our salvation. What have we been taught? How many times did Solomon get dunked? Answer. How many wives did Solomon have? They got dunked every time they went into the temple. What are we taught? It just started in time of John the Baptist? No. It's a repeat of things in the past. There's going to be a repeat of Pentecost in the fall. The first one already happened. First one. How many times? Sorry. Mark Blitz said, possibility. I wonder. I talked to his office, didn't talk to him directly. How many candles on the menorah? How many days in the week? How many days out of a month can a woman conceive a child? It's all there. It's all repetitious. It's not just a one-time event. What are they teaching? Okay? Doesn't mean it happens exactly the same way. You know, chariot of fire. Well, they didn't know what a whale even was. And the guy scolds his son for saying whale. No, it's a big fish. Like, give it a rest. So, who's childish? Paul talked about it. Put off childish things. Mr. American, think you're so smart? Pre-trib. Mid-trib. Post-trib. It's just terminology. It's the same thing. 2 witnesses come. Seventh-day Adventist tried. It's old in the New Testament. Well, 1,260 days is 42 months. You know, he put it right out there. He knew people were going to come up with this idea that, oh, it's a reed sea. It was misspelt. It wasn't deep. And the horse and the rider fell into the sea and drowned in 6 inches of water while children walked through. Really? He knew they were going to do this. So, you know, up from the grave he rose with a mighty triumph for his foes. He rose a victor from dark domain, and he lives wherever with his saints to reign. Saints to reign. Did you get it? Okay, let's look it up. Saints to reign. Amos 1, Gaza. Mention that to the Palestinians. They didn't know what to say. It's in the Bible. Okay? Hey, Mr. American, why do you think Gaza's there? Yeah, UN and US forced Gaza. Isaiah 29, Ariel Sharon, president, went into a 8-year coma. I had to look it up. I thought he had died years ago. The graves were open. And this happened. I was going to Zechariah, Amos, Zechariah. So you get that other book here and you get all your orders mixed up. Okay, Malachi is the last chapter in most of our English Bibles. You oppress the hireling and bring it into his house? No, they don't want to teach that. They like this. Bring all the tithes in the storehouse. Well, where's God's storehouse? It says heaven is his throne, earth is his footstool. He doesn't dwell in temples made by human hands. Okay? Saints with thee. Hey, the ambassadors will be required. Not everybody. Live radio with a Filipino guy says, not everybody. Well, no, the ambassadors represent the nations. Okay? Are we called to be ambassadors? We're called. They should know us in the city gates. Oh, you put your check mark down? Think we've done what he called it to do? I debate that. I'm not in Ottawa. They had a tour. Did they get to talk to the MPs, Member of Parliament in Canada? Probably not. keep the Feast of Tabernacles. 3 times it's mentioned. Why? It's important. Teacher is giving us hints. It's on the exam. Okay? See, there's no resurrection from among us. The ambassadors are already chosen when they come. I started seeing that. Maybe because I was singing the song to get myself out of the doldrums in the morning. Yeah, I can get myself down. That's why I'm doing this in the morning now. Put it out. Get it out. He's been pressing that upon me. Get it out. Get it done. Don't have to be all professional. Don't have to appear to be in a congregation. What's the guy portraying? I told the guy in Colony picking up appliances yesterday. The one guy's got an airline. Where do you think he gets his rental houses from? They're not a poor family from Guyana, I believe. Okay, that's why he's always teaching faith as King David. Yeah, they practically think they're royal family. Okay? Portraying that he's got a congregation while using an American address for the donations. Oh, how's this all work? I said something about upgrading his houses. I wonder if he did it. One guy, Princess Auto, what's it called in the U.S.? Harbor Freight. I think they're much the same stuff from China and stuff. And anyway, guy says, well, it's only a rental. In other words, I don't care about the family. Put the cheapest thing in with carbon monoxide on the ceiling and 50-year-old ionization. Yeah, that's what the guy said here. Meanwhile, he's starting an airline into South America, Guyana, next to Venezuela there, offshore oil. Where's the money coming from? Hey, how come, I got my answer. How come Solomon had so many wives? Why was he allowed this? Well, maybe they didn't have enough men left after all the wars. What's the lady gonna do? Be on her own totally? Come on. Did this happen in Bolivia? The guy came from Scandinavian country, Gustafson. It's practically like royal family. Great big farm. How many kids did he have? Because 70 or 80% of the men had been killed. Like the population of the country is about to collapse. So, hey. So they do something. Well, the guy's got the money, so he could allow. What, are you going to have him on the street? Most wives won't tolerate you having another wife. The guy, Filipino lady from southern Philippines, wasn't too happy when her husband has a cousin in Sudan or someplace. Wonder why he was every 6 months back there for 6 months. Hey, he had another family. What? She wasn't very happy about that. And what did our Canadian schools teach? And his son gets in a fight with his Islamic father, tells him to F off, and she's concerned he might get involved with radical Islam. Yeah, it's which hadith you're reading too, and who you're associating with. Hey, we've been teenagers. We did rather silly things. We used to cross the old river bridge, put some planks down, and rode across. There's no bridge there. Well, so they at least put a life preserver and a rope and tried to make it a little bit safer. They knew we were crossing the river with. It's a kind of a oversized creek. Unbelievable. Creeks. How come the lake water is lower? Because it has capillary reaction. It actually sucks the water out until it breaks adhesion of the capillary action. Okay? and learn from nature. But do we want to learn? Well, no, we got a piece of paper from the guy knew right well. He had practical stuff. He later on, and my friend thought maybe he was Spanish background, and found out he was originally from Quebec. Well, yeah, could have been some native background from Quebec. Was it Micmacs or something? I don't know. They were never one tribe. The guy in Calgary said, they want to side with their chiefs there with mainstream media. I'm a Louis Riel man. What's he mean by that? Well, they hung Louis Riel, part Métis. They called it a Métis Rebellion. It was a Northwest Rebellion. They hung him in Regina, Saskatchewan, 1880. Hey, we're not taught the truth. We're not taught the truth. What are we taught? Some sort of version of what they want us to know. Where's all our doctrines and traditions come? What is the war in the Ukraine really all about? Come on. Dad talked about it. They bombed Dresden. The war was practically over. Why? Who was in that area? Where'd Luther come from? Oh. And we're just supposed to forget all the past. They don't seem to forget. How many years later they firebombed the area? Yeah. Solar eclipses. Mr. American, just another shadow of the sun. That's what a lot of April 8th. Oh, my goodness. This happens to be a couple hundred years later after the same area was crossed with a solar eclipse. 90 days later, the Mississippi water ran backwards. Used for military navigation. They had the war with the Brits, 1812. Okay. It was a winter that decimated, was hard on the American forces, and they didn't have airplanes back then. Same as when Napoleon went into, and Hitler went into Russia. Okay? The winter hit hard and early. Just learned lately that Napoleon's army too was being decimated with a plague that he picked up probably from Spain. Oh, wow. Anyway, we're going to go back. I can't seem to get last week's teaching. Oh, maybe it's not even posted yet. Back there. Count to Omar. How much time we got on this now? We're coming over an hour. Okay, I try to get up around an hour and a half. Yeah. Put it out again. Where'd the paper go? I don't know where it went to now. Maybe it's here. There it is. Put it out. Put it out. Maybe I'll have to try to get my phone shut off at evenings. One friend texts me at 5:30 in the morning. Oh, well, yeah, he got his work canceled. Then later on he gets ticked off at me, tells me to F off. Okay. I'm glad to hear you're talking with your parents in Manitoba again, and your sister with cancer got jabs. It seemed he was going through problems, going one job after another, practically crying on my shoulder. But I helped boost his vehicle, but he won't. Nah, he's busy running around with his motorbikes and my little projects, and he kind of said something, so I put it back on him. He didn't like that. Wants to make modified snowmobile engines and patent it. Here's patent. You're going to pay about $20,000 on these patent attorneys and all that. And then the big companies go through the latest listing and change the design. Do you think China really worries about these patents? No. Okay. The one manufacturer in York and Saskatchewan now, I just found out, is owned by an East Indian company now. They don't worry about these patents. And they copy whatever they want. Have you got enough money to fight them? Good luck. Yeah. And he thinks he's going to get paid for some high-tech modification on snowmobile for racing. Really? Hey, they pay for the racing stuff down there. There's a rotary valve. Yeah, I saw one already using it in a two-stroke type engine. Okay, yeah, it's a good idea. I kind of like the idea. I play around with this stuff. Opposed piston engines and everything else. But I got some simple little projects. How about putting sand in our front tires for braking and steering? Not just sand at the back. They had units years ago. I think they're still online from South Dakota. It didn't work well. Okay. Well, planes crashed at one time, a lot more too. I went in a plane lately and I thought, don't really want to go on a Boeing. Somebody else died. Well, the other one's got problems too. Yeah, you're right. Okay. But it's probably still safer than 100 years ago flying. But yeah, that plane crash in San Diego. Washington, D.C. How come there's no cameras on the bottom side? Oh, is it because the FAA approval is too costly? Hey, how come the Canadian plane rescued the Americans off of Antarctica in the middle of winter? Yeah, I found out something. That's how the company was built. The guy put stuff on the plane. He didn't care if it was FAA approved or not. I'm operating cold weather conditions. I'm going to put it on the plane. The FAA knew it, so they got the company to take that. A Canadian plane taking an American off Antarctica in the middle of winter. I thought, well, is there no American planes could do this? How come they got that one company? They knew the guy was putting stuff on the plane that wasn't FAA approved. Okay? Hey, your FAA approval is not making it safer necessarily. Same as in the trucking. The bird hits the mirror, cracks the main mirror, there's your ticket. They don't care how many other convex mirrors you got. You don't have to probably even have a functional heating element yet. You don't have to have a functional engine brake. Maybe, hopefully, they're changing some of these things. I'm not 100% sure. I had my semi. They don't care I had cameras on it or not. I could see in the hailstorm. Mirrors already fogged up. Hail coming off my hood. It dented the one guy's pride and joy Peterbilt. He didn't believe about the 100-pound hailstones in Book of Revelation, weight of a talent or something. And he got woke up that same night. God showed him. Here, dent the hood on your Pride Peterbilt. Did you put $20,000 in the engine? It was more reliable than the new ones. Yeah. Why do you think? Hey, you think the mainstream media that hates Trump is going to tell the truth? There's all kinds of disasters going on around the world. Do you think you're going to change a top man and you're going to solve everything? No. The same receptionist is at the same guy's office. Say you got him out, provincial. Got him out. But they got the same receptionist that I have trouble with. Okay? Why? These accountants and receptionists think they're running the show. I'm going to talk to the guy. Yeah, I have lunch with him. What? His dad's not around anymore. Some of these people inherited business, still trying to do the same thing. They got $7 million worth of property, and they're borrowing money on the property values because the taxes are that high. They're going broke. And the property values, what's happening? The one builder down here, he told me that he's just a sub-trade guy. He has employees working for him. They owe him money now. Why? Well, they just can't go to the bank and borrow the property values no. So they actually got to sell the house now? They can't just hang on to it?
Number 11, Pentecost is when the trumpet of God is sounded.
Feast of Trumpets this fall. Okay? I'm putting this out because, yeah, what's going to happen with a lot of people? Are they going to fall off? Some of these people that put this stuff out when it doesn't happen, what are they going to get that fall off themselves? It's not one to them that stumble. It's one to the stumbling blocks. You listen to these people.
As at the rapture, Exodus.
On and on. Then they go to the other extreme and say there's no rapture. No. How many candles on the menorah? I think. Yeah, there's my wife's Hanukkah. She hid it away because I told her I put it actually out of the room. I don't even want it in the room. It's actually occultic, I believe. Rabbi Zachariah. He was the one that ran around the... Why would his wife even allow him to go to Thailand by himself? My wife said something, I go to the Philippines by myself. She says she trusts me. Come on. I don't trust myself. David should have known better. Dilly-dallying around. But don't tell me Bathsheba was totally innocent. Never saw anybody even sun-tanning on top of the rooftop. Saw the water barrels, a little solar. But no. What's she doing on top of the rooftop? Don't tell me. And there was an issue with her and her husband. Maybe he had a little medical problem too. Did she even have any kids? Hey, in that time of day, if you don't have, you're kind of looked down upon. You didn't have kids. Okay? People prayed to have kids. Now they pray not to have kids. Zechariah chapter 5. Flying roll. Read the old commentators. Think it's some paper roll. Featherweight. No. There's the dimensions of the missiles that were on the museum piece in New York Harbor on the one submarine. Behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead. Well, lead is heavy. Talent of lead. But what do they want to teach? Oh. Does the preacher want to read this from Shinar? Shinar, Iran, where the missiles are being fired now? The one guy all of a sudden realized, well, how is that possible? That was written hundreds of years ago. I said 2,500 years ago. All of a sudden he realized, this isn't just some book written by man's thoughts or visions of our own imagination. Like, this has stuff in it that cannot be explained. That's why they put Daniel in separate. They try to explain everything away. The branch, he builds the temple. But it's all in the future yet. Really? That was, who brought up that? It was called Counter-Reformation. Mr. Ravi Singer. Hey, we don't even have to go to the New Testament for the rapture, for the gospel. It's all there. The New Testament is explaining, opening, revealing the mysteries. The nuggets are down underground, not just laying on the surface. There's my number. Well, how are we doing for time here? 1 hour, 19 minutes. Okay. Getting a little cold here. See? Cold. It's how warm outside now. It's about 10 or 11 degrees Celsius this morning. It doesn't really say the temperature here. Okay. I don't have it plugged in. The computer might even... there's it. 14 degrees Celsius. Well, do the Google conversion there, Mr. American. That's probably, what, 60 degrees or something. It's supposed to be getting warm today, up in the 20s again. We seldom go over 30 here. Okay. It's nice weather, summer weather coming into. They didn't have any hailstorms the other day. The guy was maybe hoping so he'd get more siding work or roofing work. Why? He's got bills to pay. Yeah. Nice new Dodge diesel 3500 Dodge. Had to detune it because of the pollution nonsense Dodge went through. On and on and on. Okay. I thought, that's a pretty heavy truck for your little camper trailer. No, he says, I got a heavy construction trailer. So I thought he was in the framing or something. Nah, just siding and roofing and stuff. Okay. But he's got heavy duty equipment around. Is it all paid for? Probably not. He's been in Canada from that Black Sea, Moldavia. They took away the coastal area there too. He's more, little different dialect, more Italian, Greek language or something. He was talking about how they were growing pumpkins. Well, my uncle had a recipe for frozen pumpkins. Yeah, we should have got into it. I guess one lady down in the U.S. down there has got thousands of acres of pumpkins. She learned how to do it. Cans it up or makes it frozen. I don't know. Yeah, I could have got into that too. Different things. Hindsight's 2020. But here we are. Do we want to learn from the past? I guess not. Want to have a repeat of the past? It's already happened. People want to think it's all in the future yet. Really? Well, they kind of acknowledge the first and second temple got destroyed. But now they teach you're going to have a third temple in the future. Really? He said he builds his temple. See, it would go from one extreme to the next. The road is narrow. When you drive down the road, you got to make some corrections, you know. It's good to have some nice lines on the road. I used to have yellow lines. That's nice when you're having the snow going across. You can hardly see where you're driving. It's dangerous. Somebody pulls in front of you, you just don't hit them. Yeah, famous bus accident in Canada here with the hockey players. Blame the Saskatchewan as much, government as much. They didn't do much to try to improve the intersection. Okay? Didn't even trim the trees back. Didn't do much of anything. Said the truck driver ran the stop sign. We used to make jokes about it. Spin tires on pavement, you know? Hey, farm equipment, the old tractor would take how long to... So you look both ways and you hit the throttle. Okay? Had two big hay racks behind an old John Deere two-banger. Hey, they had good high row crop track tires. She really motored down the road. Really worked coming out of the valley, pulling the two hay racks behind. And my dad chained them together just in case some pin broke or something. But no, the old tractor will really turf once you got into high gear and rolling.
19, verse 16 to 19, and 1
You try to get on the highway, you had to come to a stop. But how come the bus didn't swerve? What was the temperatures on the brakes of the bus? How most of them in the UK, Europe, I have driven some of the equipment with disc brakes on them. Hey, yeah, and the brakes don't overheat. What was the temperature on the brakes of the bus? 2-lane highway, trying to make up time with slow equipment on the road. Trying to get past stuff, yeah. So you're trying to pass and you got to pull back in. Guys with These right-hand steers in North America, it used to be for the postal. I told the guy, get a camera way out there. Why? Maybe you weren't in the accident. The person panicked and hit the ditch. Well, you think they're coming at you. Why? Why were they so far in the other lane? Yeah. And the bicycle is just pedaling beside you like there's nothing wrong, and you lean on the horn and they give you the finger. The kids with their skateboards, and the police do nothing. Like, pick them up, take them to the parents, and parents take the skateboard away if they don't want to behave. No, do nothing. Until there's blood on the pavement. I told police that too. They don't want to deal with provincial authorities here now. Why? Because it's all... different ones know, and they don't want to give out information on police that are corrupt. Come on. The ones that are bullying the high schools went into the police forces because they like pushing people around. Who's this guy from the UK? Maybe he's just a Brit somewhere in North America. I don't know. I hear a little British accent or something there. I don't know. I don't know where he is. I just came with. I usually watch the one Count to Omar. This one here. But no, Count to Omar for Pentecost. Anyway, they're coming up an hour, 26 minutes. Anyway, I need to go see the little boys' room here. See if something is functioning this morning yet. Yeah. Put it out there again. I should get a whiteboard and write some of these things down. But hey, thank you for your time. Lord, just help us. Give us eyes to see, ears to hear. Was singing on the street the other day. Guy had some drums. It started raining. He said, pack it. But before that, he let me go in a microwave. Got Elvis, How Great Thou Art, on his, singing that. He was talking to another guy. I was singing away on the microphone. People, some don't like it. Okay. Other ways by honking the horn, waving. Yeah, they like the music. How great thou art, Lord. Saskatchewan joins Alberta. Well, okay. Half the people are in Alberta are from Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan brags 1,200,000. Yeah, in the summertime. Nice beach weather. Manitoba is more humid with the lakes around there. Alberta, I know, cools off a lot in the evenings. Okay? But they can afford to go to Costa Rica and Panama. Okay, in Panama. Just like the bars better down there. Likes having a good time at the bars. Okay, come on. How many kids you got? Oh, I don't have any kids. Well, maybe that's the reason why he doesn't like to go to Costa Rica anymore. Maybe the brothers find him there. He might be in big trouble. Hey, they got family to support. Now their sisters doesn't have a husband. Just likes to have a good time. Hey, this is in Greenland too. Okay? How many of them there are a little darker complexion with kinky hair? Something like the nieces in the UK. Wife doesn't like her Jamaican brother-in-law. Says you're not the one that married him. Like, what are you worried about? Okay? It's around the world. Preachers too. Only get found out after he's gone. Sunken Nazi Germany. Yeah, they're finding stuff yet. Okay. Canada died. Canada, Australia could have had the rusted bucket submarines. Never hear what happened to them in Canada. Okay. They're sitting in some harbor in the East Coast, not even being used or what. Never hear anything more about it. Why? Maybe they went to scrap iron prices. And I was accused of being unpatriotic because I told the Aussies about the problem with the Canadian military. Yeah. Friendly fire from the American pilot. Use the pilot as a scapegoat. What I found out, the Canadian didn't even have the modern radio to call the plane off. Like you're supposed to be working on the same side. Proud Canadian. Hey, I'm too much of a Western Canadian. Louis Riel, man. They put these things out there and have to try to find out, is West Yellowstone going off? Hey, they've always had troubles sometime. The buffalo were running out of the park the other year. Summer grazing ground is in the park. We used to go trucking through there, take some time off and go snowmobiling. Hey, you used to like getting away for the winter. Going to be stuck in Arizona for a couple days. Oh, so sad. Hey, let's go golfing or something. Freezing cold in Canada. People pay to get down there. And here I am camping out there. One guy, I think he got a girlfriend or something there. Argument with the company. He says, well, you can come and get your truck. I'm already here. I'm staying here for the whole winter. But now they don't even have time to stop at a buffet. Used to be a little one in Idaho at the little truck stop. No, I just got a Subway sandwich now. And the phone ahead, get it reordered. I was doing some of that when I was going to the mine site. Okay. Yeah, I've done this stuff. These preacher boys. Some haven't worked a day in their entire life. Got a diploma. Mr. Richardson, is that what you did? You think you're so discernment that you can discern what's right and wrong in the book of, after giving a warning about the book of Enoch? That's where some of the flat earth stuff is coming in. And who brought it in? Okay, well, a couple from Lethbridge. Maybe Obadiah. You know anything about that? Hey, the U.S. gave a big donation in Israel for Obadiah. Hey, that's like Jesuits, but I don't think the Jesuits are supposed to be married. So if you get married, you got to be an Obadiah. Is that how it works? But now they let some of the clergy wear the white collar. And the priest calls himself more Protestant pastor, and instead of the building being called a parish, they called it the Protestant term, just church. It's a building. But they got the black. No discussion. How'd you like to come home and found your back alley closed off as in parking lot because they lost some of their parking lot? Where are you going to park your construction trailer now? Oh, that's not our problem. Hey, the guy can't park his trailer here and unhook it. Leave it there. Not supposed to do that on the street, so he's got to have a place to park it. But you can drop a sea can with no reflectors, no nothing, on the street and leave it there on a narrow street near a schoolyard with no, like what? I guess they haven't caught up to that one yet. We got issues all around us. Okay. Hour and 34 minutes. Anyway, you have a good day. There's my phone number again. No. Maybe I'm being blocked because I'll put my phone number out there. I don't know. I have to check. All right. Bye-bye.